Hello, everyone, and welcome to Tiger on the Block, the only podcast that takes collegiate a cappella members and makes them really uncomfortable for 30 minutes. I'm Tony like the tiger, Voss like the water.
And I'm Jessica Block. I put the friends in Barney and Friends.
So, just Jessica, how you've been? I feel like I haven't done a check-in with you recently. Like, how's quarantine? How's Zoom classes?
Quarantine has been good. Zoom classes have been good. I mean, as good as they can be. Today I spent an hour cutting a carrot, so that was a new personal record on my part.
It's been kind of interesting. You know, I'm taking a ballet course over Zoom.
Internet ballet.
It kind of, if you imagine like jazzercise videos.
Oh, yes. I've been in many a jazzercise class because I am 75 years old. If you're not in the studio, you can't see me, but I swear it's true.
It is. I can confirm, secondhand source.
So that's lucky.
Absolutely.
You get to do jazzercise.
It's nice. I put on my leg warmers every day and do a couple pliés. But enough about us. Like, who do we got in the studio today?
All right. So we have AweChords A Cappella from UCLA.
Picking it up, loving and living, so we turn it up. Yeah, we turn it up. Ain't got no tears in my body. I ran a boy. I like it. Don't matter how, what, where, who tries. We out here vibing. We vibing.
AweChords is a collegiate a cappella group at UCLA who have performed in ICCA's, UCLA's Vietnamese Culture Night, and other performances around the Los Angeles area.
They have been around since 2006 and got their start at UCLA's Vietnamese Culture Night.
We have two members of AweChords in the studio with us right now, so why don't you guys go ahead and introduce yourselves?
Hi, I'm Ryan Chung. I'm, the previous music director of the group.
Hi, I'm Sara Hisamune. I'm from Tokyo, and I'm a soprano part in AweChords A Cappella.
So this is really exciting because we have different time zones across the call.
Yeah, where are you guys coming in from right now?
I'm currently in Hong Kong, which is 15 hours ahead of you guys, I think.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm in Tokyo, which is 16 hours away. So right now it's 1:10 p.m. for us here.
Oh, wow. Yeah, here it's 9 p.m. here in California. That's crazy.
So if we can go into a little bit more, if you guys want to talk about who you are and how you got into the a cappella scene, we would love to hear all that jazz.
Okay, so I first joined AweChords back in my freshman year, so 4 years ago. Back then I had like very minimal a cappella knowledge. I did a bit of singing in my high school, and there was like a small a cappella competition thing, and I did it, and I was like, wow, this is really cool. I want to do it in college as well. So did my round of auditions, as you do in UCLA for all the groups, and then I don't quite remember. It was maybe 8 groups.
I think that's what I did as well. Yeah.
I didn't know anything about all the groups. I was just like, oh, I see a name, I'm just gonna go for it. And I just try it. So, and I came across AweChords, and they were really nice people. And but this funny thing, back then it was like an all Asian group kind of thing. It was like no stereotypical racial slurs or anything, but it was, a very Asian populated group. And they were really nice. And then I was like, oh, they were the kind of only the group that was really nice to me. Don't know if it's because I'm Asian as well. That might be a factor. But I said yes, and I joined them, and I had a blast. And then from that point onwards, I was in the group, and then I became music director by my 3rd year, so last year. Had a fun time. And then from that point onwards, because I was music director, I had more control, as you say. I try to mix up the group. I try to make it more fun and revamp everything. So yeah, that's been going well. And right now I'm no longer the music director. That role has gone to someone else, and hopefully the group will carry on the legacy and be more fun and crazy.
Awesome. Sarah?
Yeah. So like Ryan, I also did not know like anything, little to anything about a cappella or the culture surrounding a cappella when I first joined. I had been doing choral music my whole life until the first year of college, but I really wanted to start singing pop songs. And I just searched up UCLA a cappella groups, and so many options came up. But I had signed up for quite a lot of auditions for a variety of groups. I don't remember exactly how many, maybe like 5, I think. But I ended up getting sick that week, and the only audition that I actually ended up attending was AweChords. And actually, I'm really glad it turned out that way because everyone there was super nice to me. I remember Ryan was super enthusiastic throughout the whole audition. Aww. And a couple of the other group members who were there, not like as judges, but just I guess for support, like Amy and Kristen, they were also super nice to me. And so I was like very hopeful during my audition. I was hoping that I would get into this group and that I would get to know its members, and I did.
It was meant to be.
Yeah, I think so. I'm glad I got sick that week.
That's an awesome story. I mean, I can attest to the fact that whenever I've been at an AweChords concert or been hanging out with your group, you guys are just the nicest group of people. Like, you sound amazing, but also you're just so fun to be around. Like, I've actually met Ryan through comedy club my freshman year. He was a sophomore.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he was, again, like one of the people that just welcomed me in, and he's one of the reasons that I've been doing comedy at UCLA. So, Ryan, you are wonderful.
I did not know about this.
You're so nice.
You are her inspiration.
You're the meaning in my life. You're the inspiration.
You are the reason that Jess is now CEO of comedy.
Yes. That's awesome, you guys. Wow. Great stories. Let's just go into a little bit, Ryan, a little deeper into your experience being a music director. So can you tell us a little bit about what that entails? Things that were hard, things that were easy, things that were fun, just all sorts of different things about being a music director.
Yeah, sure. So being a music director, it's really about, well, mainly about music. So your first job is to handle all the music responsibilities of the group. And that includes leading rehearsals, planning out what music you're going to sing for the whole year, sorting out gigs somewhat. That role's kind of split between admin and music director, but you're handling the music stuff. So, and then arranging as well, if you can do that. And then also just knowing parts. So like, oh, this person, because I'm going to be doing the auditions, then, I want you to be on this part and I want you to sing this part, that kind of stuff. But also there's a tiny bit of like all the background stuff of the group. So like, what I mean by that is like you're also there for emotional, not emotional, but like the group support, I guess, for the group. So like during rehearsals, if someone is struggling, then it's your job to notice it and be like, hey, do you want to help? Or like maybe we can like do something else outside of rehearsal to help you with music or something like that. Or if someone is not feeling very comfortable with singing like a solo or like doing a dance move, I don't know, whatever, and then you're there to help them to resolve that. And so that's the job of being a music director. It's probably harder to execute than it is to explain it. My first year of being a music director, I had lots of fun. I still do. But my first year, because it was my first time going into it, and I didn't really have like proper training before that, I was just kind of following what the previous director was doing. And then obviously I noticed like, what I didn't like and what I liked. So I tried to change things up the first time I did it. I think it was pretty good. Like I handled a lot of stuff well. I think so I'm a really, like I would consider myself as a very strict person. So when we're doing music and rehearsals, I'd be like, that bit is wrong. Like you guys sing this line again. Like don't do that. And that didn't happen the previous year. So when I did that, I think people kind of liked that more because there was a better sense of direction, and also like we were improving. But my second year, so this year, I kind of wanted to tone it down a bit, because at one point I was like, whoa, I think I'm being too much of a bitch, and I think I should back down. People like me more. So tried to do that as well. So I think it probably worked out better in a sense. So I think finding the balance of like improving music, doing work, but also just being a nice person and like making music enjoyable for people is the key. And that's actually pretty hard because obviously you want music to sound amazing, and to achieve that you want to drill everyone and everyone start singing and stuff. But at one point you're like, hey, if I do that a lot, then people might get bored and they might hate doing this, so it's hard. But I think it went pretty well. I managed it at the end. Yeah.
I think you've done an amazing job with the group, and I agree, having been music director of Pitch Please a while back, like the hardest part is that balance of like, you have to be strict and make people learn their music, but you also have to be their friends, and like you want to be their friends because you are their friends, and it's like you can't be mean to them, but you also have to make them do stuff, and it's really tough.
Thank you. And yeah, definitely, that is so hard. I think even now, like technically I'm out of the group because we're graduating and I'm gone, but like even now on like group chats and stuff, like I kind of feel like a sense of like a barrier, or almost like a distancing thing, where like, because I'm the head of the group, or like the music director, they're like very apprehensive, and they're like, oh, like right, like like that we're not like we don't speak on such friendly terms as other people do. But I think that's just like a tiny thing.
At the end of the day, like your like work at it and all that, it just culminates to making the groups that much better.
I think so. That is the ultimate goal.
So next we would like to just dive into a little bit of maybe your favorite moments or covers that you guys have done. If you also want to touch on a like a least favorite, or just like anything that was like an interesting highlight in your time with AweChords so far, let us know.
Sure. I have a lot of favorite songs that we've performed or that we've rehearsed in AweChords, but I think my absolute favorite would have to be the Streetcar arrangement by Ryan. I think it's just that we started rehearsing that song during our social, or like our retreat, and I just remember that first instant when Ryan started playing the audio for us, everyone just like fell in love with the opening notes and then the whole song at once. And it was just so great seeing everyone like instantly like focus and fall in love with the piece. And like, even though that period of time when we were learning that song was probably like the hardest, like in terms of workload, the hardest period of like our AweChords year, it was always enjoyable because while we were singing, even the tough parts were so beautiful. And so, yeah, that would have to be my favorite piece.
I think my favorite, I have a lot of favorite songs over the years. I've been in the group for 4 years. There's just so many songs. But I would say, don't want to brag, but my favorite arrangement is probably the mashup between 24K Magic and Finesse, which we did last year. Also arranged by me. But it's so fun to sing. Finesse itself is already so fun, and there's a rap in the middle, and like when everything just like everyone just hypes up and like sings it, and like the rap comes out and we're like dancing on stage, it's so fun. Like the energy is like big time, and every time like we have socials and retreats, like Finesse and like 24K comes on, we're like like, oh my god, like we know this part, like we just sing. So yeah, that's been really fun, and it's also like a big like mood lifter as well during a performance, so that's a bonus. But yeah, should I do like a least favorite cover if you
want? Yeah, sure, it's valid.
It's a mashup between, I think, Shape of You and Mercy by Shawn Mendes. But this song was arranged by like a previous member 2 years ago, I think, or 3 years ago, I don't remember.
No shade.
No shade, but it was very boring. It was like the whole piece, for almost all the parts, they were just repeated bars. So like do, 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 like that bit over and over again. And like after like singing it 10 times, I was like, it's not doing it for me. But yeah. That was one of my least favorite covers.
Yeah, we all have like songs that we really liked learning, and then we have songs that were like, it felt a little more like a chore.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Well, going into then, I guess, one of the larger experiences that you guys do every year, because you did ICCAs this year, but every year you guys do VCN, which I think is really important to your group every year, but also to the history of your group and how it got started. Could you guys talk a little bit about your group history, and then we'll get into a little bit more about VCN later on after we listen to some music, but just your group history in general would be awesome.
Okay, so the group started off in 2006 as a component of VCN, and I should probably go into what VCN is. So VCN is the Vietnamese culture night in UCLA, and so every year the Vietnamese community gathers and they collaborate on like a massive showcase theater type of thing at Royce Hall, and they bring up like a specific like an issue or like a topic. So like this year it was intergenerational trauma. Last year it was like PTSD or something like that. Something related to the community as well as like what's going on right now. And so as like a theater production almost, they wanted like a musical component, I guess. And so a few people banded up together and they formed like a choir group, I guess. It was more like an, I don't know, impromptu singing
Somewhere
thing.
in between choir and a cappella and friends.
Exactly. Yeah, so it wasn't really legit back then. It was just like a tiny component on stage, like they just sang and that was it. And so once they had like enough members, I think by, I want to say 2012, I have to double check, but they like reformed the group and made AweChords. So it was like a legitimate a cappella group on campus now. And like as I said before, it wasn't intentional, but because it did come from a Vietnamese background, it was majority, Asian filled group. And so for other years, it's been that way. And because it's, it's seen as such, I think not a lot of people of, different backgrounds and cultures and ethnicities audition for us. And so we've been stuck as like an Asian majority group for the longest time until like a few years ago, when we like kind of thought, hey, like maybe we should have, it's 2019, 2018, we should be like a newer group. We should be more, diverse and stuff. And so we started, hopefully like we've started like advertising and like just getting more people into the group, different people into the group, and it's worked, and it's become like a really nice group now. But yeah, that was a history. Also, music wasn't such a big thing. Like we were not competitive. We still aren't, but we were very elementary and very primitive, I guess. So it all started very spontaneously. And then it was until 2012 when we rebanded, we started like singing like lots of a cappella songs. We did concerts, we did like gigs and such. And so that's how it started. Sarah, is there anything else to add? I don't know if you know anything.
Honestly, you're exactly right. When I was joining AweChords, I had no idea that it had like this sort of history. And it was only once like we started talking about practicing VCN songs, I was like, oh wait, what is VCN? Can someone explain? And they were like, oh, this is the origin of our group. And I was like, oh yeah, I knew that, but honestly I didn't. But being part of that VCN crew was honestly amazing because I had no idea like what the history was behind like the Vietnamese culture in America, and to hear that story being told and through like a variety of medias and performances was just, it was really educating and eye-opening for me. And it was very cool because a bunch of people came to the VCN night because it's a huge performance. And yeah, and there were like young Vietnamese people and then young non-Vietnamese people and then like their parents and their grandparents. And so we were telling this story of like, this year's theme of intergenerational trauma to like a variety of generations and nations like within the audience. And even like my grandparents who I talked to after the show, they were like, we learned a lot that we didn't know before. And so it was just super cool to be part of something that had so much substance and history behind it, which was something I had never really done in a performance before. So yeah.
And till this day we still sing for them every year, and it's been a great, like, it's such a great experience to do.
I'm so glad we started getting this ball rolling on this most recent VCN, because this brings us to our latest addition to the Tiger on the Block segment list. Welcome to Music Notes. It is a new, or at least it's more of a formalized variation of what we've been doing in the past, where we're going to take a look at a previous performance by the group, and we're going to take a moment, listen to it all together, and then talk about maybe like all the things that like went into that day. So let's check it out.
The clip you're about to hear is from the AweChords performance in VCN this year, 2020, and it is a cover of Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, which I believe is originally by Elton John. It's amazing. You can't see the visual right now, but we can drop a link to it in our video description so that you can watch it, because it's awesome. There's shadows and lighting, and it's amazing. But for now, you're about to hear the audio, which is equally as amazing and moving, and I hope you guys enjoy.
Something that's going to become a favorite of mine when it comes to this this segment is just getting to watch your guys' face react to, like, you guys have that moment somewhere in the song that like immediately takes you back into it, or you're just like, wow, that was like, just kind of really brings you back into that moment, or something just really grabs you. If you guys have if you could share some of those like visceral responses that you guys had, maybe listening back to the music.
Well, what I noticed, first of all, and I think everybody notices upon listening to it, is the how well the soloist sign blends in with the style of the whole and the tone of the whole song. And I think that how great she was as our soloist for the song, and how well her voice fit with everything contributed greatly to how much all of us enjoyed performing the song. Because sometimes, even before you audition or hold auditions for a song, you can tell that someone's voice is just going to fit so well with the song. And I think we all sort of had that moment with Sign, who has like a really nice mix between choral and theatrical voice, which just blended so well. And so yeah, definitely if you're talking about like the moment when you become really engrossed with the song on stage, for me it was always just like Sign's first few notes, and I'm like, okay, I'm in. We have to get this performance perfect.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Yeah, because this song is meant to be, well, it's at the very end of the show, and it's meant to be very solemn and very like a reality setting in, like it's a very existential moment. And so yeah, her voice just is so thick and rich, and it's so good. But yeah, and definitely like for me, it's just all the tiny bits with like when we do choreo and like the bell tones, like do do do, like that bit, or like when we have like the or whatever, like the really fun bits. It just reminds me of that. Also, it doesn't really help because I arranged it and I kind of know how it goes.
Yeah, I heard you singing along, or saw you singing along during it, and I was like, oh, I miss acapella.
I know. Yeah.
I know that you guys said that like your sets usually kind of like tie into the VCN themes, and they kind of follow almost a pseudo narrative. If you can kind of talk about how this particular piece fit in with what VCN was all about in 2020.
Yeah, sure thing. So I can talk a bit like how broad, like just broadly for now. So
For sure.
in general,
For sure.
we basically cater our song selections to the script itself. So the music director, so me, we have to talk to the director of the show, and we discuss like, oh, what the mood is about, what different scenes there are, and how different songs can fit into that. And so this year we had 3 bits. The first bit was like a fun, moody, fun and kind of like reminiscing moment. The second was like very like it's dying, like it's very dark. And the last one, which is this one, is very solemn and very existential. So, and like when we're thinking about the mood, we're like, hey, are there any suggestions or like songs that kind of fit this criteria? And even the lyrics matter as well, because the director wants it to be like really good. And so I was like, hey, I actually know the song by Elton John, because I was actually watching the documentary film of him. I forget what it's called.
Rocket Man?
That's a Rocket Man, yeah. So good. And like I was really in love with the songs at that point, and still am. And I was like, oh, like Goodbye Old Brick Road is such a good song, because there was the moment when he was on drugs, he was taking drugs, and he realized it's like, it's his downfall, and he's like gonna die from it. And so I was like, hey, this might fit. And then the director listened to it, and he was like, yeah, I actually really love the song, and I love the lyrics. And he actually catered the script. So he changed the words of the script to reflect all the lyrics that we've sung. So that was really cool.
Awesome.
And so yeah, and obviously when I was arranging the song, I had to make it very dark and like very almost spooky in the beginning to like kind of reflect the mood. And then halfway through, it sounds a bit more like, I guess, resolved and solemn. But yeah, that's how we pick songs, and that's how it goes.
I have to ask, who sang the solo at the very beginning?
The mini like Hindustani like Indian bit, that is Rithika Srinivasan.
Shout out to Rin.
Insanely good. I was like, the minute that came in, I was like, oh my god, this is giving me chills. It's awesome.
It was crazy.
It was such a spontaneous moment, because obviously I knew she had experience in Carnatic music, and I was like, hey, would it work if you like just did like a tiny bit in the beginning and the end? And she was like, yeah, I'll try it. And it was like, whoa, when we heard it, and everyone's like, wow, it actually sounds really good. So we just put it in.
It's amazing. I love that.
That's awesome, you guys. I'm really happy that we got a chance to talk to you guys about Vietnamese Culture Night, because as someone who has been to a couple different culture nights at UCLA, I haven't yet been to Vietnamese Culture Night, but now I really want to go. Like, seeing the video from you guys and like hearing about it, like, I'm inspired. I want to go.
You've sold me for sure.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited for next year. Hopefully we will be out of quarantine by then and we can fill up Roy's Hall. For sure.
I know, yeah. I couldn't believe it. Like, VCN is the only, I think, culture night that happened this year before everything shut down.
Yeah. Because Filipino Culture Night would have been in May.
R.I.P.
Well, Tony?
Is it time for ads? Okay, cool. All right, well, we have a game for you all to play, but before we get into that, we would like to thank our sponsors. Today's episode is brought to you by Baritones, singing the weird parts so you don't have to.
And by Glasses. Oh, I see.
All right, so today's game is syllable by syllable singing. Jessica, why don't you take it away?
For sure. So, syllable by syllable singing is a game in which our guests need to sing a song going back and forth, syllable by syllable. The first person to mess up means that the other person gets a point. And if both people make it through the chunk of the song before we stop them, then both of them get a point. It's kind of fun, it's kind of freaky, it's kind of especially freaky with the lag from the Zoom, but we're going to do our best and it's going to be a great time. Tony, do you want to give a little bit of an example with me as to what we mean by this so our guests aren't caught off guard?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So, let's just take Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, right? So, we're going syllable by syllable. So I'll start it with twing,
Go.
twinkle,
Little.
star,
How.
I,
Wonder. What.
you,
Are.
and you keep.
It's very
and you try
low
to
for
go-
me, but it was fun.
Yeah. We'll get a pitch pipe next time.
Oh, yes. Why else are we called Pitch Please? Well, let's get into the game. So the first song we have chosen for you, and off the record, if you guys don't know the song, pipe up, and then we'll pause and we'll give a different song.
Okay.
We have backups.
Yes. Or if you don't like the song, because we did accidentally choose one of them to be Shape of You.
It's fine.
Okay.
We'll still play if we do it. We'll play it as a bit.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So now that that's out of the way, the first song that we're going to have you guys singing syllable by syllable will be All of Me by John Legend. And we're going to have you guys start at the chorus. So whoever wants to go first.
Could I go first then?
Absolutely.
Okay. 'Cause
All
of
me,
loves
all
of
you,
love
your
curves
and
all
your.
edges.
Oh, that's 2 syllables.
Oh my god! Ryan gets the first point. Now you see why this is
I was
hard.
like, am I saying the jizz or all?
Okay.
So that is, we started off with the slow song to make it easy. Our next song is less easy and much faster. It is Shape of You. And we're going to start, oh my gosh, this is embarrassing. Shape of You is by
Ed Sheeran.
that one.
If you want, me and Jessica could start you off.
Is this,
We're gonna do the doots.
Oh yes, we're gonna do the doots for you guys.
Okay, perfect. So I don't have to do them. Yeah.
Tony, you want to do the first doot?
Absolutely not. You give us the pitch.
Okay, ready? Do,
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 do, do.
do.
Oh,
Take it
I
away.
messed up. Jesus.
Yeah. Take it away, Ryan.
The
Wait.
Ah,
Way too long.
Is this too low?
the
Club
is
and
the
best
place
to
find love. So
the
far
is
where
I
go
me
and
my
friends
at
the
table
to
to
wing
shots
drink
king
fast
and
then
we
talk.
go.
I'm gonna stop you guys right there. You both made it
I think
through.
we'll
That
take
was
that as-
amazing. That was.
We'll take it as a tie. You guys did
It's
it.
just one note repeated over and over.
I know
again.
that song is difficult because it's just very single noted for a while. So right now the score is 2-1 because you both got a point for that one. Ryan has 2, Sarah has 1. Sarah, you got a chance to take it all back. Our last song we're gonna have you guys do like this is Love on Top by Beyonce.
Ryan, I hope you did your vocal warm-ups before coming on the podcast because this is gonna take you real high.
There we go. Okay, I'll start. Bay,
Be
it,
you
you're
the
one,
I
one,
your
the
One
I
need
your
the
own one
I
the
come
on
say
the
it's
you
your
the
one.
I think it's
What?
I think it's you're the one that. I think that is a point for Sarah.
what
Oh no! Well, you know what that means? It is a tie between Ryan and Sarah.
Okay, I'll leave it as a tie. I don't know what happened, but yes.
I feel like when you're singing a song that slowly, it's hard to remember the words because it's not in context anymore.
That's true.
I would not blame you at all. But yeah, it looks like the score is 2-2, and with that tie, let's move on to our last portion where we involve you guys, which we love, where you guys get to promote yourselves. So if you want to push anything for AweChords that you're doing on Instagram or Facebook or just in general over social media, or anything that you're going to do following quarantine, just anything coming up in the future for your group or for yourself personally.
Yeah, if you have a personal project, this is the now. Yeah, like Jess was saying, this is the time. Plug away.
Yeah. Okay. Follow us on all the social medias that we have. So we have Facebook, we have Instagram, we have a SoundCloud, we have YouTube, and we post fun, cool videos on that. So definitely like, subscribe, and share everything. And yeah, and speaking of, I'm actually right now editing a cover that we did. We did "Friend Like Me" from Aladdin, Disney's Aladdin, and we were working on that before quarantine hit, and so we just recorded it and I put everything together. So hopefully it's gonna come out soon on YouTube and everything. And yeah, and we hopefully also we have another thing where we had a quick recording session before we left, and I'm hoping to get the recordings done before we graduate. And so maybe next month we'll have a possible Spotify account / mini album EP thing, because we have leftover funds and we can fund for that. So hopefully that's gonna come out. So keep an eye out. And yeah, just like, subscribe, everything. And yeah.
Awesome. Sarah?
Yeah, so maybe on obviously go check out all of our social media and look out for the Friend Like Me cover that's gonna come out soon. Thank you, Ryan, for making the beautiful video and arranging all the audio. We love you. But on a less serious note, one of our members, Sign, she has a TikTok account and she is desperate for followers. So if any of you would like to watch some cringy and then some good TikToks, follow her on @the stop sign.
She's the soloist from before, right?
Yes, she is.
Yeah.
She has multiple talents.
And it's spelled S-I-N-E, not S-I-G-N. It's like the sine curve, sine wave.
Awesome. Also, your guys' website, and I'm sure you guys back when we're all back on campus are going to be doing some recruiting in the fall.
Yeah. To expand on that. Sorry.
No, you don't have to, but just like
Yeah, you will find so we're looking for auditionees all the time, and so in the beginning of next year. So you can find all the information on our website, on Facebook. We'll post stuff, and we also have an aca-podcast account, but I'm not sure how effective that is. And also I've heard from our social chair that we have like a joint page that showcases all the a cappella groups on it. Not sure how that's going, but maybe you can check that out as well.
That's exciting. Well, I just wanted to thank you guys from the bottom of our hearts for being able to join us here on this podcast. Even though you guys are tons of miles away, it's glad that we're able to kind of like still connect and come together with our love of a cappella.
Thank you. Thanks for having us. It's been so fun doing this.
It's been awesome having you guys here. And all of those things you guys are promoting, the links to them will be below in the description. So you can go to their Instagram, you can go to their YouTube page, that will all be there.
All right, well, it looks like we're coming towards the end of the podcast. So we would like to thank our stylist, Fits You Nicely, for keeping us looking fresh and fashionable in this audio-only podcast.
And our publicist, Product P Lacement for making sure word gets out about our podcast. A huge thank you to Annalise Rowe for creating the gorgeous logo you get to stare at for 30 minutes straight.
I don't know, Jess. I can't take my eyes off of it.
It's like it just doesn't go away, but like in a good way.
What were we doing? Oh, right. And of course you, our listeners. Thank you for tuning in.
Join us again next week when our guests will be Olivia and Mario from Soundwave Acapella, chiming in all the way from SDSU.
This has been Tiger on the Block. Remember to treat those vocal cords right.
Try out that riff you've always wanted to try.
And chug a ton of honey. I'm keeping that. But that's the
The recording has stopped.
that's the podcast.